Welcome to the Shuv Show. I'm your host, Christene Jackman. Well, Hanukkah starts this Sunday night at sundown. Yay! 8 days of celebration. I love hearing the stories of God's miraculous deliverances. Sufganiyot, jelly donuts, dreidels, and the Hanukkah lights. Hanukkah, or Hanukkah, is found in Scripture as the Feast of Dedication in John 10. Here is Yochanan, John 10, verses 22 through 24. At that time, the feast of the dedication took place in Jerusalem. It was winter, and Yeshua was walking in the temple in the portico of Solomon. The Jews then gathered around him, and were saying to him, "How long will you keep us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly." There was high messianic expectation around the time of Hanukkah, or the Feast of Dedication. Also check out the prophecies in Daniel 8 regarding Antiochus Epiphanes, whose actions led to the Maccabean revolt and the dedication of the cleansed temple in Jerusalem. Remember, God told us the end from the beginning. That's what he said. What has been will be again. There's nothing new under the sun. Prophecy can be revealed in layers, and it can be repeated. It would behoove us to study the past if we want to know the future. If you want to understand the book of the Revelation, you absolutely must study Genesis through Malachi, or else you're going to come to wrong conclusions. Well, back to the matter at hand. Hanukkah. It's true, some time back I stopped celebrating the following Western holidays due to their violations of biblical principles: Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, birthdays, etc. And honestly, I don't miss them one tiny bit. Depression and suicides go up during the Western holidays, especially like, Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day, that kind of thing. Why? Well, look at them. Most of these celebrations are very self-focused and or set up a false spirit that a person tries to achieve but never truly will. Fortunately, I've learned that God's feasts are vastly more fulfilling and infinitely more joyful. Why? Well, for a number of reasons. 1, because his holy days are real and not made up stories like Santa Claus. 2, they are prophetic. 3, they are biblically mandated, part of our happy duty to covenant keeping. 4, because the focus is not on me, it's on him. 5, the biblical feasts of the Lord are stuffed with wonderful traditions that enhance understanding and application. So you're not missing out on anything. For me, it's the vital question of living the lifestyle that Messiah Yeshua, Jesus, what he did, if I'm going to call myself his Talmidah, his disciple. You see, his work brought us back into the covenants of the promise. Remember, not under the law means not under the curse of the law. It doesn't mean that we don't have to do the law anymore. Remember, God told us that his laws were good, holy, and not burdensome. Did he make a mistake when he told us that? Of course not. Read Psalm 119. Keeping God's feasts are a matter of obeying the command to live a kadosh lifestyle, kadosh meaning holy, set apart. Because God himself told us, "And you shall be holy to me, for I am the Lord, I am holy, and I have separated you from the peoples that you should be mine." Vayikra, Leviticus 20:26. Here are the wonderful holidays that I now anticipate and enjoy. I'll also put them in the description under Show More below in this YouTube video. Okay, the biblical feasts that I now keep. Remember that a biblical day starts at sundown. And there was evening and there was morning the first day, back in Genesis. To find the Gregorian calendar dates, go to the Lunar Solar Jewish Calendar at hebcal.com. That's HEB as in boy, CAL.com. Hebcal.com. Okay, and also we see now, first of all, in Vayikra, Leviticus 23, verse 2, we hear the Lord say, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, the feasts of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, these are my feasts." Okay, the feasts are the following. On a weekly basis, we have the Shabbat, the Sabbath. It happens on the 7th day of the week. It starts at sundown on Friday night and ends at sundown on Saturday, where no work is to be done. It's a holy convocation, a time of drawing together. So it's like every weekend I get a rest from my work. I have a mandate from the creator of the universe that I do not have to do business work. Thank you. Then monthly, we have Rosh Chodesh, or new moon. It's the start of the new month. The dark of the moon, you see the first sliver shows up. That's Rosh Chodesh. On a yearly basis, we have the 7 feasts. We have Pesach, or Passover, combined with Chag, HaMazot, unleavened bread, and also within the Passover week, you get Barley first fruits, or Resurrection Day, the resurrection of Messiah Yeshua. So there's 7 days of celebration, with the first and last day are a Shabbat, where there's no work and there's a holy convocation. This all starts on the evening of Nisan 14. And then we have the counting of the Omer, which you start counting 50 days to Shavuot, Nisan 16 through Sivan 5. And then, okay, so that culminates in Shavuot, or Feast of Weeks, or Pentecost on Sivan 5. That's the wheat harvest celebration. So the first fruits of the wheat harvest happens then. Then the summer is quiet as far as biblical feast, but then picking up again in the fall, we have Yom Teruah, Day of Trumpets, or Day of Shouts. It's also known as Rosh Hashanah, or Head of the Year. This would be the agricultural year. And that starts at sundown on Tishrei 1. Now, 10 days later, we have Yom Kippur, or Yom Kippurim, Day of Atonement, or Day of Atonements. And that is a fast day and a holy convocation day. And that happens on Tishrei 10. Sukkot, or Feast of Tabernacles, the time of our rejoicing. This is an 8-day celebration. The first and last day are a Shabbat, and that starts on Tishrei 15. Go build a booth. And then on Kislev 25, you have Hanukkah, or Hanukkah, the Feast of the Dedication, which is 8 days of celebration. So you light a candle every night for 8 days to celebrate the story of the miracle of the oil. Also, the miracle of the tiny nation of Israel, against all odds, beating the Greeks. Antiochus Epiphanes and his lot. And then we have, on Adar 14, we have Purim, or the Feast of Lots. Of course, this has to do with the book of Esther. Okay, so those are all the feasts that I celebrate, the main major ones. And I would highly suggest that you look at each one and study in depth each one of those and discover all the wonderful traditions that go along with each of them. I just really absolutely adore keeping the biblical feasts now. They are so full of meaning, and there's no depression. It's just because it's all God-focused, and it's biblical, and why wouldn't I do them? My Messiah did them. His disciples did them, before and after the resurrection. In fact, Christmas didn't really even show up until 350 years later. So, you know what? As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I'm going to walk in His ways. I'm going to copy what my Messiah did. So what you do is up to you. Seek the Lord on it. That's the best thing I can say, is seek the Lord on it. What do you think, Lord? But you have to be willing to hear what He says back to you. Okay. I leave you with a couple of things. First thing, I leave you with Proverbs 29:18, which says, "Where there is no revelation, chazon, divine revelation, the people cast off restraint, para, to become naked or to become lawless. But happy is he who keeps, guards, the Torah, the law." Okay, now, if you've listened all the way to the end of the Shuv Show, here's a gem for you. I put a link in the description, and it's to this wonderful article called "Why I Don't Celebrate Christmas" by Tim Hegg of Torah Resource. This article perfectly articulates my views. It's wonderful. I highly recommend this article and Torah Resource and Tim Hegg. So have a happy Hanukkah and the rest of Adonai's holy days. This has been the Shuv Show. Laila Tov. Good night and shalom. We find that in Vayikra, licorice. Vayikra, Leviticus 20:26. Chag HaMotza, Chag HaMo. Oh, hello, I can talk.